Welcome everybody to our very first Automation Hub Spotlight. For those of you that do not know what Spotlight is about, we want to give car company owners and their car companies a chance to explain what they do, who they are. And our very first guest today is JHD1124 of Camoria Automotive. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Well, my name is Jacob de Blakecourt. I am 16 years old. I come from a town just outside of Philadelphia in New Jersey in the United States.
All right. So how did you get to your company name, Camoria Automotive?
Well, Camoria is a brand name that I use for a lot of my companies or places. I've used it in a lot of games before. I've used it in Minecraft, I've used it in automation. Really, anything that requires a name, Camoria is my base name to go with.
All right, and is there any philosophy behind the name? Like, is it a combination of words or something?
Well, Camoria, the name is much like Kodak, the camera company. The name Kodak didn't really come from anything. It was sort of just an assembly of letters that sounded pleasing, in the same way that Camoria does. I chose that because I like the IA ending. It gives it a more memorable name over some abbreviations or something like that.
All right, and the when we look at your car company logo, it's a crown. Does it stand for anything? What do you try to represent with it?
Well, the black and yellow crown originates from when I've used it in other games. I've used it in Minecraft, and I sound very nerdy right now, but that's okay. When I would create any sort of town in the game, I would use that logo as my country's flag, and I wanted to carry over that design into my cars.
All right, yeah, that's understandable. And well, you're not nerdy at all. There's like 20 million people playing the game, so huh? um, when you do car company designs, well, cars for the company, is there anything you focus on, like a certain type of target group, a certain type of car or engine?
Well, I always like to do premium sedans. That's where, or any sort of premium car. That's really where I like to spend my time designing. With that comes a certain philosophy of design. I like to incorporate premium quality materials, premium materials for constructing the car itself. And a lot of my engines I like to have I wouldn't say abnormal, but certainly car engines that work well specifically for those cars. Not something that's just gonna get you someplace, but that'll be a lot of fun.
All right, yeah, well, definitely like 800 horsepower V8s are a lot of fun, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, when you make your cars for the car company, are you looking to get inspired by some real life models, or are you trying to create something that's completely new?
Well, I would say that all of my designs are somewhat inspired by something in real life. Not necessarily always the designs themselves, but the idea of a car company. A lot of my cars, whether it be with the AM series of cars or whether it be with the SP line of cars, all of them feature a certain design center, normally a grille, that they all focus on. I like to incorporate that with my designs. I like to go with cars that are certainly daring and interesting, modern, but aren't always weird or daring for the sake of being daring. I like to incorporate a gracefulness with a interesting design flow.
All right, and so when we take a look at your Mark Q design, that seems to be a well respected design by quite a lot of members on the automation forums. Do you think you succeeded with that in your Mark Q design?
Well, we've been at the company very happy with the responses by the community with the Mark Q line. Um, I think that it's incorporated everything I've tried to do with my car designs. It features the classic signature Camorian grille, and it also has some new flowing lines like the headlights that wrap around the side vents. That's sort of a new idea that is daring and interesting, but it is also very practical.
All right, so is it safe for me to state that this is the model you're most proud of is it, or is it any other model you made that you can be more proud of actually?
I would say that the Mark Q and the 1962 GTC Revolution are my two greatest accomplishments. They in the design league. they've garnered the most attention from the forums.
All right. Is there anything we can expect from your company then in the near future, like a change in target groups, or are you going to go for the same type of cars in the near future?
Well, we're always going to maintain our standing in the premium market, but we're looking to push into the economical low budget market. We want to start incorporating the premium look with a more affordable price tag.
Okay. If for designing your cars, the game is still under development, so there might be some stuff missing. But if there's something you could put in the game right away, right now, what would that be?
I would suppose that if I were to put anything in the game right now, and this may or may not be impractical, I would really like to see the modding tools that are used outside of the game be incorporated into the game in a more user-friendly way. I like the selection of vents and grills and headlights that are provided now, but sometimes the bodies that are given to us would work better with a more custom design that I've thought of that is not in the game. And I'm not that great with computers, so I would like to see the modding tools be put into the game.
Okay. I also saw that you had some of the cars be put into your own made ads. You probably did that with Photoshop or something. Can you tell me something more about that? How did you get to the idea?
Well, Camoria is always looking to keep up with the trend on the forums. Uh, that we've been around for quite a few months now, and there's been a lot of changes going on with the addition of competitions and specifically with advertisements. A lot of companies have been doing that now, and Camoria is always wanting to stay on top of what is most relevant on the forums. And since we saw that advertisements were becoming very popular, we wanted to incorporate those into our presentations.
All right, that's a pretty clear answer. I have another couple of personal questions for you here. If you could be a car, what car would you be and why?
People on the forum would probably know this by now about me. If I were to be any car, I would be the 1948 Tucker 48 sedan. That has been a car of which I've obsessed over, and it's been the car that has inspired me to design cars in games like Automation. I like it because it's unique. It's it's a really great design. It's got a really fantastic backstory, and I think it relates to me in its sort of underdog story. I've never really considered myself much of a designer, but I've really been fortunate enough to have a lot of success on the forums, much in the same way that the Tucker 48 sedan, while what is a very much an underdog story, it's also had a lot of success.
All right. What made you buy the game?
I was looking to translate my doodles, my 2D doodles in school when I'm bored. I wanted to find a more 3D, more realistic version of that I could use on a computer. And when I looked it up, the first thing I saw was Automation Game, and I bought it right there on the spot.
Okay. Is there any favorite circuit or track you have somewhere on the globe?
I would have to say my two favorite at the moment are the Nürburgring Nordschleife track and the Le Mans de la Sarthe track. That's the original one. Without the long straight didn't have the little bumps in it.
All right, and which one would be your most favorite one if you have to pick just one?
If I had to pick just one, I'd have to say it's the Le Mans track.
All right. What's your best experience you've had in a car and why? I take you're 16, you live in the USA, so you have your driver's license, so you've probably driven a car already?
Yes, right now I have my permit. I'm actually getting my license in November, which I'm very excited about. I'd say my best experience in a car. I come from a family of car likers, not necessarily car lovers. So my family has always bought cars that are nice, but they're not particularly fast or sleek or particularly cool. But my friend has the Infiniti G37X, which is the fast version, and and he let me drive it, and I put my foot down, and it was fantastic. I was thrown back into my seat. I loved it, and I now cannot settle for anything slower.
That pretty much is amazing me, and I'm a bit jealous of you hearing this story. I have a couple of trivia questions, and I'm going to ask you these questions, and I want to ask you to answer within like 1 or 2 seconds if possible.
Sure.
So let's get started. Turbo or supercharger?
Turbocharger.
Asian, European, or American cars?
American cars.
All right. Comfortness or sportiness?
I would say comfortness.
Mm, this might be like an easy one. Top gear or fifth gear?
Oh, Top Gear, without a doubt.
All right.
And Top Gear UK, not US.
Okay, well, yeah, because of Jeremy Clarkson, probably.
Yeah,
Realistic racing or arcade style?
realistic racing.
A weekend at the Nordschleife or a weekend at Le Mans?
A weekend at Le Mans.
Yeah, given your previous answer, I would say. Then I also have a thing called Automation's Temptations.
Hmm.
And well, we're looking here at several questions that are going to compare things with automation, and you have to pick one. So you could get $1,000, and never again you can play automation, or you can play automation but do not get $1,000.
I would choose to play automation and not have the $1,000.
Okay, to make that a little bit more exciting, you could live the like Dan Brazilian. Don't know if you know the guy, but he's having like lots of women around him. He's shooting guns. He's driving fancy cars. So you could be him for 1 month, or play automation and not be him.
Well, as much as I love automation, I think I would choose the lifestyle of Mr. Brazilian for a month.
All right. Then this might be a really interesting one. Test drive your most favorite car, and or test drive your own design in automation.
Ooh, that is a tough one. Um, I say that I would prefer to test drive my own car in automation.
Okay. So you can be a VIP on the Top Gear show, or you can get a tour at the devs at Camshaft Software.
I would say that I would like to be a VIP on Top Gear.
Okay, and then the last one to round this area off, free gas for the next year and no automation, or the other way around.
Oh, free gas for a year, absolutely.
All right. I think this pretty much concludes everything. I think we got a pretty clear view on what Camoria Automotive is and who's running it. Make sure you guys check him out on the forums if you haven't already. His topic is under Camoria Automotive, so it's easy to find. Yeah, make sure you also check us out on Twitch. Follow us there and check out some nice live streams, pretty much like 2 times a week, at least. Also check us out on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and get to see more awesome videos like this. And on Facebook, don't forget to like our page, facebook.com/AutomationHub, and stay up to date with the latest news and announcements. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for being here, Jacob.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me. This has been wonderful.
All right, and I'll see everybody next time on the next Spotlight.